Let me ask you guys a question. When do the ducks and the birds normally migrate? Do you guys know? When do they normally migrate? If you saw them migrate today, you would say it's a bit late, wouldn't you? I know I would, right? Bird migrations start early. But this year, they're off. Everything is off. Everything is off. And it's off because our planet is going through a fast tilt. Now, they just picked up on this today, which means by we're going to see some degree changes in our position. That was just picked up on today. It was an amazing find, but it's not a good sign. Not a good sign at all. That means something is of such magnitude that is causing a bit of problems. They also have to, in the last couple of weeks, they've had to adjust or do course corrections on quite a few satellites. That implies the Earth is really moving erratically. Now, it's not enough to notice it right now. No more than you notice the Earth traveling at such high speed, traveling in the universe right now. But it does pose a big problem. And because that was picked up on and verified today, it's going to pose us some very difficult issues. We're now about to see the event changes regarding weather, space phenomena, but most importantly, your brains are going to be highly affected, right? The timing is impeccable, of course, because they're about to switch the rest of the frequencies over to 4 and 5G, right? About to do away with 3G. All of a sudden, they find out that the planet is indeed tilting. Big time shift to a pretty significant shift, and it will continue. I'll say it again, they just picked up on that today. So it is, it's something that's been observed, but when the numbers came back and the verification came through, it was quite shocking because they thought it impossible. It's too soon for something like that to happen, right? So they say. But evidently, no, that's not the case. But it's going to mess with your head, right? Which means all of you guys that are prone to external aggravations, you're going to receive more aggravations, right? It's why it's so important to be emotionally in control of yourselves by opening yourself up for placement of the Messiah. You do that by abiding in him, right? You do. You do that by abiding in him. Now, bird migrations are off because they operate by magnetite in their heads, right? And so they're very sensitive to seasonal changes by way of that magnetite. But it's, all things have been delayed. There are certain trees that are just now starting to shed their leaves. Strangest thing. So things are really, when nature goes off course, that's when you have a problem, right? We can always notice things or see things and feel things, but when nature as a whole begins to go off course, we have a problem. Spiders, likewise, are doing something very unusual, and they really are. They signify massive changes in weather phenomena all the time, almost perfectly. As far as I can, look back into the data, they've not made a mistake yet as far as seasonal changes, and they are a real good indicator of what is coming because they will stay dormant. They don't go in burrows or anything. They just kind of stop moving. They curl up, stop moving. Most of them, they flatten themselves anywhere they can, and they will stay put in the corner of your walls, near baseboards, but they will not move. They won't move. Strangest thing. Their temperature in the bodies can go down. They don't have antifreeze, but they can survive very cold temperatures. And, a lot of people probably think they, hibernate, but they don't. They just simply slow down, and they curl up and go to sleep. But they also do something else. When extreme weather is bound to approach, their behavior changes. And they've noted that behavioral change in spiders for some time now, but not like it is as of late. With all these indications, this is it. I can say that with a lot of certainty, that this is it, meaning as these seasons approach, you're going to see a type of, phenomena you've not observed before. It's going to be quite extreme, right? We all know that because we've been through half of it. It'll be extreme, but most importantly, it's going to wreak havoc upon your own minds. See, you may not know this, but you have magnetite in your brain also. How many of you know that? You have magnetite in your head. You know what? I'll give you the answer to a mystery. If you sleep with your head pointed toward the south, the nature of your dreams are going to be different because your brain operates differently. If you sleep with your head pointed towards the north, the nature of your dreams changes. And do you know that some people cannot sleep with their head pointed toward the south? They can't do it. They just can't do it. So your head pointing, right, the head of your bed when you're lying down, if you point it towards that cardinal direction, right, in the north, you're going to find yourself having a somewhat of a peaceful sleep. But if you sleep with your head toward the south, it'll be disrupted. The nature of your rest is going to be very different. And the reason for that is you're going to be affected by the magnetite that's in your head as well as other elements that's in your head, and it makes a huge difference, a big difference. If you ever want on a wild dream, point your head toward the west. And normally you have lucid dreams. Your brain is not quite shut down all the way, right? And your alpha and delta sets won't lock in all the way. So you can't get that. You'll have what do they call that? They call that the magic sleep. Magic sleep is when you go to sleep, right? And all of a sudden you go to sleep. Then your alarm clock goes off right after you shut your eyes. You're like, what's going on here? You look at the clock, and indeed, it's early morning, but it feels like you didn't go to sleep at all, right? They call that magic sleep, and that normally happens when a person their head is pointed in a specific direction, or you're in a specific season. So once you allow your body, though, your head pointed toward the north again, your sleep changes big time. If it's pointed toward the south, you have a different influence at work, right? And it is, something. It is something to behold, all that because you have magnetite and other sensitive elements in the body. Now, that means the environment can change how you think and operate. The environment can make you prone to aggravations or cause you to be immune to aggravations. It can enhance things in the body, and it can certainly degrade abilities in the body to a great degree, right? How do you overcome this? If your spiritual walk is everything. Those of you you've really dived into your spiritual walk, right? You're going to be immune to it. Now, here's what that means. You're still going to have irritations, aggravations of the flesh, but they'll no longer get to you, right? People, of course, will always attack, but they won't get to you. Sometimes things will happen in your life, but that the average person couldn't take, but it won't get to you. And that's a consequence of both having a spiritual life and not having one.